Hi everybody, Cathy McLeish, and we're doing this series on alcoholism. And today is a heartbreaker because that's what alcoholics do. We break people's hearts. And so I want to talk to people that are in relationships with alcoholics. And, maybe they're your main relationship, your spouse or your partner, and maybe they're your child or they're your parent. Either way, they're tugging at your heart and they're probably doing some serious damage. And, I used to wonder, how did I end up with that alcoholic? And if you follow my series, I'm an alcoholic myself. I'm in recovery 37 years, and that's what I did. I drank with and at my alcoholic, and then I ended up in the throes of alcoholism myself and found my way out. I asked for help and found my way out. The statistics will tell you that not a lot of people find their way out. And so this is what I want to say. I want to say, if you are with an alcoholic, please take care of yourself. Do not allow us to steal your dreams, your hopes, your life, your money, your children's, dreams. If you are with a practicing alcoholic and you are supporting them in any way, then you might be part of the problem. And that is really hard to hear because we think, I thought, I've got to tell his boss he's sick and not hungover. I've got to do it because we need that second income. There were all kinds of reasons for me to stay, for me to protect our family. We had 4 kids and 2 were stepsons. I loved them dearly. They were stepsons, and I knew if we separated, I would keep the girls and the boys would have to go with him. What a horrible decision to have to make, to split a family. But you know what I came to believe in the end when we were both practicing alcoholics is that all of these kids are going to go down with us. If we don't do something different, all of these kids. And that means the kids, their kids, their kids' kids. I'm going to make a generational decision, and I'm going to make a generational decision, a decision that affects generations, either for the good or for the bad. And that is a big decision. I made the decision that I was going to leave. I had gotten sober. He had even gotten sober, but the atmosphere was so toxic that I left. And I felt it was the best decision for the kids. I don't even know that I loved myself or cared about myself enough at that time to make that decision for me. So I made it for the people that couldn't make it for themselves. And if you look at your situation, if I would have looked at my situation, I had to say goodbye to some materialistic things. I went from my home and I went into a duplex. That was a big thing, The thing is, I said hello to a lot of other things, to the freedom to know what was coming, to not have drama, to not have anger, to not have this big question mark over my life every day. And I'd had it for years. I had even gotten so comfortable with that kind of pain that I didn't know until I stepped away from it how much pain I had become willing to tolerate. And my pain threshold today is so small, and I am so grateful for that, because before I would put up with so much before I would think I needed to do something about it. Now, alcoholics, we just make the world one big cloud, and it's hard to see the truth about anything, because I came into the relationship being a drinker, but not a heavy drinker. And then I became a heavy drinker, and then I started to drink at that alcoholic. So I'm not blaming that on him. My alcoholism is my alcoholism, and I had to take care of it. I still take care of it today. But I will guess that if someone isn't drinking at an alcoholic, they're doing something else. They're doing something else that compromises who they are and the values that they had before they got in that situation. And in the end, I didn't even like myself. I was a shell of the person I used to be. I had given up friends. I had given up talents. I had given up hobbies. I had given up so much of myself. I was bitter. I was angry. I was even mad at God. I was mad at my family. I had very few relationships that were operating on a really healthy level, because that's what alcoholism does to family life. It does it to extended family life also. So if you are in a situation with an alcoholic, can you check yourself? Are you paying for the alcohol? Are you paying for anything that traces back to their bad decisions? Court costs, urine tests? Are you compromised because of a DUI? Are you compromised because they can't work the job they worked last year because something has changed? Are you compromised because you're a parent and they're living in your basement? One of the things that I will tell you about this alcoholic is if I didn't pay a price, nothing was going to change. If I didn't pay a price, why would I change? I wouldn't. And so if you are robbing somebody of their experience, of their consequences of their own drinking, you're paying their price for them. And why would they change? So these things are hard to hear. They're even harder to act on. But what I needed to do when I was in this situation is I needed to look into the future. And if nothing changed, in fact, in alcoholism, a practicing alcoholic in that scenario, things get worse. So if nothing changed, my future was going to be my past. What I had to look forward to was going to be already where I'd been, which I hated, only worse. So I had to make a decision. And those decisions are difficult decisions, but I would be the first to tell you when I got on the other side, it was almost instant relief. I had no idea how the alcoholic atmosphere was affecting me until I moved out of it. And that was for my own alcoholism and for my partners. So if you're in a relationship with an alcoholic, a practicing alcoholic, what are you compromising? Are you eating at their drinking? Are you spending money that you shouldn't be spending? I mean, I am not judging anybody because I have done it all. I went places I never thought I would go in order to pay that person back for the damage they were causing me in my life. When in reality, I was responsible for my own life. I wasn't a child anymore. I may have gotten into this alcoholic situation because of some things from my childhood, either things I learned or I didn't learn, things I misunderstood, but once I was an adult, it was my responsibility, especially once I had other human beings leaning on me for the choices that I made. So subscribe to my channel, not for me, but for you, so that you can learn more, so that you can understand what you're up against and understand some of the choices that you can make for yourself. You are worth it. And if anything I can tell you is it is better on the other side. And sometimes when you give that alcoholic an ultimatum, and we don't do it for them, we do it for ourselves, they are forced to change. They could change totally and not come back to the relationship. But wouldn't it be better for everybody to change for the better, even if they're not together, than to stay together and make each other more and more sick? Cathy McLeish, doing a series on alcoholism so that we can spread understanding and be a part of the solution so that alcoholism can no longer do the horrid damage that it does in individual lives, in couples' lives, and in families' lives. Thanks.